We have just pulled up to Holiday Park. Every moment on this trip has been a little bit surreal, just seeing these coasters in person. Expedition GeForce is right there, which is like totally insane.
Holiday Park was placed on the map for theme park lovers across the world when it opened Expedition GeForce in 2001. Europe's first intimate mega coaster, it is a ride that all coaster enthusiasts know about and is a bucket list attraction. This is one ride filled with a strong collection of elements. A crazy twisted drop where the back seat is a must-do, a series of loaded airtime hills, and one specific twisted hill that is also a big talking point. As you walk into Holiday Park, it may not have the level of upkeep or budget as some of the other parks that we had previously been to on this trip, but it's a nice wide open entrance area and it's still themed quite nicely. We'd also purchase a Plopsa annual pass here as there were other Plopsa owned parks that we would be visiting, and it ended up being the best deal overall. From this entrance section onward, the theming is kind of mashed together with some themed areas and themed rides and plenty of flat rides. To the left is Expedition GeForce. There's also an area of the park somewhat located behind the entrance area, so the layout is a bit odd. We also purchased a slip of Skip the Lines that allow for 10 skips for one person, since the line for GeForce looked quite long. Front row rides would require 2 punches if you were to select that row. It was a good deal and something I would purchase again just to skip the line here, since operations weren't the fastest on this Intamin, and it really is the one reason to come to this park. GeForce is incredible, one of the best original Intamin mega models out there.
Oh my god! Wow. Very good. In the same ballpark as El Toro, so it's a top 1%, 2%. Yeah, it's up there. It's incredible.
I don't know if I was slightly let down because of the hype that surrounds this ride or the inefficiency of the dispatches. Operations were just slower than all the other amusement parks that we had been to on this trip. But I'm also a sucker for theming, and this one doesn't really have any at all. The ride was also running with 2 trim brakes mid-ride, something that is unusual for this roller coaster, and it has since returned back to 1 trim at the end. We grabbed 5 or so rides on this before heading back to the corner of the park where the Premier Rides built Sky Scream is located. You can see the larger selection of flat rides in close proximity to each other in this park. It makes for a good amount of rides overall. A piece of the old Super Werble makes an archway over the pathway as you enter this back section of the park. The Sky Scream is just like all the other models of this type. It always packs a nice punch of adrenaline. And the queue really was the best that I had seen for a cloned attraction of this kind. It's a fun ride, and just going through the line is half the fun here. Other attractions in the park did not have any lines, so we would save the rest of our skips later for more rides on GeForce. The park also has a nicely themed log flume in the middle of the park. Wiki Splash, it features a double down drop. Other water rides include the Rapids ride Dino Splash. It included some waterfalls and rapids that all travel past animatronic dinos. We'd go on to ride the Disco and also the third and smallest coaster in the park, which was located indoors. The disco is nicely themed with the track well disguised, and it fits into the pathways and this section of the park as a nice centerpiece. The large indoor space in the park with family attractions and that small family coaster was a nice place to get away if it happened to be raining. And honestly, an indoor section like this is a must everywhere in Europe because of the high chance of rain. Sadly, GeForce had broken down at this point and did not open for the rest of the visit. With the skip the line system, this is a half-day park. We ended up not using 3 to 4 punches on all of our skip passes, which was frustrating, but felt that they were still worth the uses that we got out of them. I don't see any need to spend an entire day here. If I were to go back, I'd really just ride GeForce along with the Log Flume and Rapids ride. It's not a huge park, and the selection of rides can mostly be found at other parks. The quality of the park isn't the highest, and without one of the best coasters in the world, this would be a park I would skip. GeForce carries this park, and the spread of guests inside the park also makes that quite clear. There's a nice selection of kids attractions in that a family with young ones would probably enjoy the day much more than a thrill seeker.
That's it from here at Holiday Park. Expedition GeForce is incredible. The operations are slow throughout the park compared to everything else in Europe. There's no real dark rides. Overall, just average for what we've seen so far. But on to the next one. Here we are. This is our car, by the way, the Renault Captur. Jeremy Clarkson approved for sure. Yeah, that's it. It's much smaller on the inside than it looks on the outside. Welcome to Europe. Off we go to the fair.
You can subscribe if you want to keep up with the rest of our tour around Europe. We're headed east to Geiselwind with one of the wackiest coasters we've ever seen yet, as well as some other quick stops along the way. I'm Austin, and as always, a big thanks for watching, and until next time, see ya.